Noon, I'm Ahmad Hawkins, and welcome to another edition of The Foresight, presented by UVA Community Credit Union and powered by Keswi. So again, we got another great show on tap for you today. We got a special guest, Patrick Kerney, and we got another fan fanatic. And if you want to be a fan fanatic and you want to be on the show to meet our guests, make sure you always tap in. You go to the Virginia Cavaliers Facebook fan group during the show so you can interact with me, and also here on Twitter, because this is what the Foresight is all about. It's about bringing the fans closer to the football program because we know we can't go to the sky. So we're going to preview this North Carolina game on Halloween at 8 p.m. And we switch things up. You know, usually we go back and recap the game from last week. But my man Patrick Kerney, he's a busy guy. And we got to get him on the first segment because when you got busy folks, you got to be appreciative. And we're going to bring in one of my big brothers, Mr. Patrick Kerney, New Jersey native. Look at him, looking handsome.
Pennsylvania, man. Come on. I was born in New Jersey. I was born in New Jersey.
Okay, born in New Jersey. Fair. I'm sorry. Yeah, so you like Michael Jordan. He was born in New York but grew up in North Carolina. So I got you. Thank you for correcting me. You're bigger than me, so I'm not gonna give you any beef. But PK, man, glad you're on the show. A lot of folks don't know you came to UVA playing a different sport. Can you tell them what sport that was?
I did, man. I came to UVA to win a national championship on the lacrosse team.
Ooh.
And Dom Starzi offered me, and I loved football in high school, man. I freaking loved the sport, but I didn't think Division I was a possibility for me. So I said, look, I got a chance to win a national championship at the Division I level. But let's do it. So I went to play lacrosse.
Yeah. So how was that transition? Like when you got here, you started as a defensive-man. You're playing lacrosse. When did you feel like, man, I want to go play some football now?
Well, fortunately, so Dom, he went to Brown as a football player and was handed a lacrosse stick and said, here, try this. So he did the reverse. And so when I told him, I said, Coach, I love football, and I can't give up on something I love so much so easily. I'd at least like to try to walk onto the football team. He was all for it. He was my biggest cheerleader, and I think could empathize given his history. And so, I was able to get there my freshman year, and on July 31st. We had to get there early for the Pigskin Classic against Michigan. We had that preseason-ish game, a preseason bowl, and it was great. About a week in, Bob Petchel, who was my defensive ends coach, said, look, we made a mistake. We should have recruited you. You're going to be on scholarship next year, and we think that if you are willing to put in the work in the weight room and the cafeteria, the NFL is a real prospect for you. And I was floored.
I mean, the rest is history, man. 24 sacks in a UVA career, third in UVA history. You had 15 sacks as a senior, which tied the UVA single-season record. I remember that year, man. I remember that summer, going to the class in summer school and just seeing you always with a gallon of water walking around.
I was like that guy from the Planet Fitness commercials, right? I pick things up and I put them down.
I mean, you earn everything that you got, man. Coach Bronco Mendenhall has the mantra, earn, not given, and you were the representation of that because a lot of folks don't know how hard you work. I mean, you were naturally athletic, but like you said, you had to make sure you put on the pounds. I mean, you were cut up, so you had to make sure you had enough body fat to take the pounding, but just your preparation, man. I was watching the Clemson game back in '98 and just seeing you doing belly flops to get the offensive tackle to try to flinch and move. And when you jumped off sides one time, everybody thought it was on you, and you're diplomatic, pointing at the left tackle like it was him, ref, it was him, and they end up giving him, the legal procedure.
Yeah, I mean, that was back in the day where it was all on the offensive lineman. He knew the snap count, and he was responsible for going when the ball was snapped. And so Ty Smith, our defensive ends coach, he wanted us doing that. And that was I was having kind of a fun day that day, and so I started flinching. And then they brought in a true freshman because the guy they had starting got kind of worn out, and so they brought in this true freshman. I said, "Oh, I'm gonna have some fun with this kid," and did those flinches and got a couple false starts, and man, that was a blast.
So, we look at, your jersey retired in 2010. Later after that 98 season, 30 overall pick by the Atlanta Falcons, Pro Bowl season 2004 with 13 sacks. Then you signed with the Seattle Seahawks, had 14 and a half sacks to lead the NFC. Brandon Johnson from Facebook wants me to ask you the better environment for a home game, the Atlanta Falcons or the Seattle Seahawks?
Oh man, it's that's such a tough one. Look, the crowd in Seattle was part of the reason I went. All right, that 12th man, we had played out there, and I know how deafening it was on third down. And I said, look, this is a good offense, and if I get that crowd noise on third down, I'm going to be jumping the count. But that said, Arthur Blank, when he bought the Falcons, he made a promise to us. He said, guys, we're going to fill the dome. And before he bought the team, our defensive line coach, he made a joke. He said, boys, you could fire a shotgun in the upper decks. You might not hit anybody. So it wasn't exactly the greatest show in town at that point. But Arthur Blank, he made a commitment to us, and he filled out the dome, and it was absolutely rocking. So, I think the playoff games is really your metric. And both places, it was the Georgia Dome back then, and what was Quest Field back then. Were just both electric. To draw a line in the sand between the two is, it's just too difficult, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got another fan question for you, Patrick. Mike from Facebook said, "What was it like in 2019 as an alum for both programs to see football win the Coastal and men's lacrosse have an amazing run to the national title?"
It was surreal, actually. But it started with basketball, right? Like we won a national championship, went to Minneapolis, caught both the semis and the championship game, and 7 weeks later we win the lacrosse national championship, and then fast forward whatever it was, 5 months, and we win the Coastal in football. I pretty much said I've peaked, right? Like I'm probably going to go to the grave and never have a UVA sports year like this again. Right? It's too hard to do, and God bless our guys, man. They went out and did it. It was just surreal.
Did you increase your UVA gear? Did you hit up Matt, say, "Hey man, I need some gear, man. This is the time to really wear it"?
No, it was funny. That's when I got hit up for more donations.
Oh man.
The VAF we love, man. We support them, but they know to strike when the iron's hot.
Yeah, they definitely. You talk about money, man. You retired after 11 years in the NFL, MBA in finance from Columbia Business School. PK, I didn't know, man. I didn't know. Back then, I was young. I just saw you with a gallon of water. I didn't know you had the books too, brother.
Yeah, man. It was 2 humbling years. I retired in April, got married in June, and went to business school in August. Came back to the East Coast, and it was 2 years around really a bunch of kids. I mean, I was the oldest person in my class. I had classmates that were 10 years younger than me, and just so genetically gifted, just so smart. I mean, these kids were the ones taking like AP calculus in 7th grade. So I had to tread water hard to stay afloat, but it was awesome. It was a total just kind of reprogramming of my brain to make it far more useful for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about just getting tapped back in of studying and doing classwork versus the classwork for the field. But shortly after you got that, you started Kerney Insurance in Greenwich, Connecticut. Provided financial advice. Do you provide any financial advice to NFL players now?
I still have a handful of financial advisory clients, but really my focus is the insurance agency. I do a couple of pro bono things on the advisory side as well. Still do a couple of presentations for rookie classes. That is a passion of mine. Saw firsthand how amazing an opportunity the finances can be from an NFL career, and also seeing what a curse it can be to guys on the flip side, and not optimizing that opportunity. So I do want to always keep a sort of a toe in that world in terms of helping guys that want the help, and getting them to leverage that opportunity best they can. But yeah, the insurance agency is really my focus, and building that as best I can.
Nice. So last question. Actually got a fan question before we go to our break, because I know you have a short amount of time you could be with us. Chuck Taylor from Facebook said, "What are your thoughts on Bronco?" And I want to ask your thoughts because, Coach Lance had a 4-3 defense here. Did you happen to play in the 3-4 once you got to the NFL? How would you see yourself in Broncos defense?
I did 2 years in the 3-4, and I was slated to be an outside backer. Then, so I dropped down to like 260. And then we had 2 D linemen go on IR during training camp. And they said, we got a problem. We need you to put your hand back on the ground.
Yeah.
Well, I was 260. and in season is not the time for me to be bulking back up. So I had a bit of a problem, but it was an awesome evolution for my career, because when you lighten up like that, I was able to put a few pounds back on. I played out 265, 270. My technique had to be spot on.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm going to be down there, those 4 techniques, sometimes 3 techniques, heavy 5 techniques, your technique has to be spot on. And so that helped develop me as a defensive lineman a great deal. Actually, debatably went on to have probably the second best year of my career that year. Put up 10.5 sacks as a 3-4 defensive end. Had a bucket load of tackles. Anyways, it was a great learning experience and productive as well. But the 3-4. I think it's a lot of feast or famine, right? Because we've seen when the team's successful, it creates the confusion. It creates those free runners, and not just a free runner like defensive lineman, like a free runner safety with speed who's getting to that quarterback now. And that's causing the sacks, causing the turnovers, and it's a blast to watch. But that said, sometimes if it's you're not bringing the extra man, you're not getting the free runner, and it's 5-on-3 or 6-on-4. That can be a lot of time if it's picked up right.
Definitely, I was call you Bronco because I was talking about Coach Bronco. But PK, I know you got to go, man. But I would love if you could just stay through this 30-second break and just speak with our fanatic, because I know they'll get a kick out of talking with the legendary Patrick Kerney. So you still have a little time for us?
Be happy to.
All right, fourth side. We're gonna go to our first break, and we're gonna be back with our fourth side fanatic to meet the great Patrick Kerney.
You'll find we have a way about us. It comes from being unafraid of the hard things, never losing sight of the little things. And when all is said and done, coming together to enjoy the good days. Because every inch, every number, every call we earn. For the salt of the coast, for the stones of the capital, for the hug of Skyline Drive, for all Virginia.
Back to the fourth side. We still have Patrick Kerney here with us. And on this great segment, we have our fourth side fanatic that's going to join and going to be able to meet Patrick. And the reason why I wanted PK to stay around is because her favorite game is a game where he was a difference maker, and it was against my high school teammate, who everybody calls Benedict Arnold. PK, Kelly, PK, glad you guys got to meet. And while we have Kelly, her favorite game was the 1998 beating of Mr. Ronald Curry and the UNC Tar Heels. If you could just take us back, PK, because you had a phenomenal game. I think your sack, did they call it a fumble when you sacked them when the ball hit the – oh, I'm sorry, 2. Look at him. 2 sacks.
And don't forget the blocked field goal, too, now.
Oh, hey.
But who's counting?
Take it away, PK. This is perfect. Take us back to that game in 98, because I dropped the touchdown pass that game, but you take it back to what you did.
That's all. You had to get that out of your system. We had that margin of error. And, hey, you made up for it the next week, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I did.
I see that picture over your shoulder. You made up for it that next week. And then some. No, Kelly, that's so awesome. That was your favorite game. That was undoubtedly my favorite game. Last home game my senior year. Kickoff was like 55 degrees. Sun setting the background. All the foliage is out. The stadium packed to the gills. And who's coming in but the former #1 high school recruit in America, Ronald Curry, who had committed to Virginia and backed out. Well, a defensive end who was a senior, who was a former walk-on, he doesn't like that when superstars all of a sudden don't want to be part of that program. And so I had a little extra thorn in my side for that game, and was able to – it was Oscar Davenport who started for them.
Yep.
So I got him once, and then in came the freshman phenom. I got his pelt on the wall as well. And then there was another point where I got a blocked field goal as well. So it was awesome. And then afterwards, the student section stormed the field, and there was a great part of the video clip on Twitter where a couple of my lacrosse buddies actually put me in a headlock at midfield, and I didn't care. I was so happy. I was grinning ear to ear. It was just a surreal experience, and a great way to end my career at Scott Stadium.
Nice.
That was an amazing game.
Yeah, go ahead, Kelly. Did you have anything you wanted to add before we let PK go? Because he's a busy man, but I wanted you guys to meet.
Yeah, I was just wondering, what do you think the kids today playing, or young men, are the challenge about not having a crowd there to egg them on, to get them excited? And what would you think about playing today with that? I mean,
yeah, it's tough because there's definitely, at the home game, just a little extra juice, a little adrenaline flowing. And as I mentioned, talking about crowd noise as defensive linemen, you get to sort of even the scale. So you lose a little advantage rushing the passer there. But, it's kind of a way to reveal, who really loves the game, right?
Yeah.
And, do you need the crowd? You want the crowd, of course. Do you need the crowd, though? And if you're somebody who's dependent on them for your energy and dependent on them to really create passion for you playing the game, then maybe start thinking about that career path other than the NFL.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, definitely, PK, and I definitely appreciate your time. And I love that last statement because you showed me that it's more than life than football, and definitely still an inspiration to me. Like I tell you, I still remember you walking around with that gallon of water and your hard work, brother. So I'm glad 2 weeks in a row now we done met up via
this is awesome.
This camera. So we got to get up in person once this pandemic is done, brother. I'm definitely love and proud of you, man.
Indeed, man. Appreciate it, brother. And great seeing you. Kelly, great meeting you. And man, thanks so much for having me on.
All right, so we're letting PK go. We're going to stick around. Stay with Kelly. The
All
Fourth
right.
Side is sponsored by Frito-Lay. Frito-Lay. Get some potato chips. Give me some, too. So, Kelly, it looks like you've been a fan for over 50 years.
Yeah.
Since the Dick Betswick era, attended 1984 Peach Bowl and the Orange Bowl last year. You have some fond memories. So, what's some of the memories that jump out to you as being a fan for over 50 years for this program?
Well, that picture behind you is one of them.
Oh, thank you for that.
Hey, my mother has that on her refrigerator.
Oh, she's a saint.
She
Thank
does. You. It's still on there today.
Oh, that's awesome. What's your mom's name?
Her name's Gwen.
Gwen, thank you very much for your support and your blessings, for sharing a photo of a little young man from Hampton, Virginia. I definitely appreciate that.
So what did you think about Ronald Curry kind of being a traitor there?
Oh, man, I was torn because, that's my brother. One day he'll share the story why he went to North Carolina. I'm not privy to do that. But I was kind of let down. But at the same time, I understood. And I understood the fan standpoint. So that's why, when they called him Benedict Arnold and other nicknames, I understood it came with the territory. So everybody was excited to have his talent here to follow the success of Aaron Brooks and compete with Dan Ellis as well. So that's it. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know. It just it seems a shame that he didn't, but you have to understand why he did it. So, but as a fan, it was disappointing. The kids do that a lot today.
They definitely do.
Decommitting or whatever. Not like then. Back then, a lot of people didn't do it. So I think that made it worse.
Definitely a different time now. But being that we playing UNC on Halloween, Kelly,
that's
get into some videos and look at some great memories of us beating North Carolina.
UNC.
Let's keep that going.
All right.
So you remember this game, Mr. Antoine Harris?
Oh, yeah.
95-yard return.
That was great.
Look at Antoine. I think he did that versus the Pittsburgh Steelers to make it to the Super Bowl. I know it's a Steelers fan that's going to come on here that don't like that I said that. But it looked like in the past we always would beat them by a field goal, too. That's ironic.
Yeah. 2017, right?
Yep, and there's that guy that everybody's talking about, Patrick Kerney, sacking Ronald Curry. Patrick Kerney sacking Ronald Curry.
There's the touchdown.
Yep, Aaron Brooks. My man Todd Braverman. That's a 99 right here to win the game.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I wasn't at that one. That's at UNC.
Hey, look at that guy congratulating him. Man, I know that fella right there.
Great
who
highlights.
says kickers don't have swag? And here is Marcus Weeks with the 100-yard return ended up going to play for the Seahawks. He got a Super Bowl with them. That was pre-Joe Reed right there. My man Weeksy with the touchdown versus UNC. And then this is last year. The fake punt that went for a first down to Cal.
That was awesome.
Yeah, Do-It-All Perkins to Hasise. I don't know why he's on the NFL roster. Dubois, why he NFL scouts, I need you to bring him in. Not too many people got hands like that kid. Jersey's own Hasise Dubois. Look at that.
He's got glue. Glue on
Yes,
his
he
hands.
do. Yes, he do. And we're going to need. We may need another quarterback that's playing right now to have a game like that. So, Kelly, we definitely appreciate you being
thank you.
the Side Fanatic. Is there anything you want to say before we go to the next break?
Just go Hoos and beat those heels tomorrow.
Yes, beat the heels on Halloween. You heard
That's
Kelly
right.
here.
That's
We
my
thank
trick
you
or
for
treat.
your time. Thank you for your support for over 50 years, and thank your mom for that screensaver. Made my day.
All right.
All right, we're going to go to another break and we'll be right back on the Side. To the Side, I'm your host, Amon Hawkins. Appreciate you taking the time out to view the show today, whether you're on Facebook, Virginia Cavaliers Facebook fan page, or you're on Twitter right now. Make sure you continue to interact and send your questions or statements in so I can read them off and give you a shout out. So, y'all know I pay attention to social media, and I see a lot of tweets and posts. Hey, man, basketball season almost coming. And we say, you know what? Since basketball season, we got to get somebody from the basketball program to do an ACC pick'em with me. They watch football. They just don't pay attention to basketball all the time. Who better else than a guy who is on cloud nine, because this NFL team has not been defeated until they play Baltimore, I heard. And that's Coach Jason Williford. There he is.
What's up? What's up?
I mean, Jay Willie. I'm sorry. He's Jay Willie since he's in the house today. What's going on, Coach?
Not a whole lot. Hey, they snuck me on, man. I was eating some chips, man, earlier. So I'm glad they got that off. I'm supposed to be on a diet. They got me cheating.
Oh, accountability. Accountability never.
I know.
We catch you. So that's a great thing. That was a great thing right there. Great job, producers. We holding you accountable. That's what we do. Iron sharpen iron. So I appreciate you jumping on the ACC Pick'em segment. We're going to have a special pick for you. We're just not going to do all college. So I think you're going to enjoy the one pick I got in store for you. So you ready to get this started?
I'm ready.
All right. First off, we got number 4 Notre Dame at Georgia Tech, 3:30 ABC. It's the Rudy matchup. You know why they call it a Rudy matchup?
No.
Where the coach Williford go?
I don't know. Where did he go?
There we go.
Okay.
Well, they try to make see if I can, if I can freestyle. I'm ready for it. I'm built for this. Okay.
You got to be able to adjust a mile. You got to be able to adjust.
Be like water, like Bruce Lee said. So we're going to get it started. Notre Dame at Georgia Tech. Coach Willie, do you know why they call it a Rudy game? You watched Rudy before, right?
I've seen Rudy, but I don't know why.
At the end of the game, when they carried him, who were they playing?
Oh, see, I wasn't even paying attention. That was a hell of a movie. That was a hell of a movie.
You was crying. crying.
I might have been. It was a hell of a movie. But I didn't remember the opponent. But I'm not gonna.
All right.
I'm gonna go Notre Dame.
You didn't. You was crying. No, we're gonna leave it there. No. You was crying. So, number 4, unranked. You think Notre Dame's gonna overlook Georgia Tech for Clemson, or you feel like they just gonna do what they do?
No, I think they'll be ready. I think, look, you know better than anybody, and you got to play the game that's in front of you. It's always the next one. This is the next one for them. So I think they'll be ready for this, and Clemson will be Clemson when they get to it.
Yeah, I agree with you, man.
You can't overlook opponents, especially in a shortened season like this year. It's crazy.
Hey, I can't argue with a coach. So, I mean, I know I know Georgia Tech is excited. Sims is a young, bright quarterback, but Notre Dame just got too much firepower. And like you said, I think they're going to stay 10 toes down to the ground and focus on the opponent at hand. And I got Notre Dame winning pretty big versus Georgia Tech. No shade, Georgia Tech. No shade. Next up, we got Virginia Tech versus Louisville. 4 o'clock ACC Network. Can the Hokies bounce back from the loss they had last week?
I am the wrong dude to have on here to give you anything that's non-biased when it comes to the Hokies. So they could be playing Stab. I want Stab to beat Virginia Tech. All right, so I'm going Louisville all the way, and I think they're gonna keep the losing streak going for the Hokies. That's just me.
So this is probably the first week I picked the opponent to beat Virginia Tech. And what better opponent than Louisville than that guy running with the last name of Hawkins? So I got to go with anybody that got a last name Hawkins, especially at running back, even though I didn't play running back in college, but I played in high school. But, yeah, man, Louisville has a very good team. Virginia Tech turned the ball over way too much versus Wake Forest. Finally lost a game besides going against UVA with Hendon Hooker at quarterback. But I think Louisville just has too much speed and too much firepower with Tutu Atwell as well at receiver. So I got Louisville defeating the Hokies, and they're going to lose 2 in a row. Now we're going to switch it up because we got to talk about this game. First of all, my team that I cheer for made your receiver from Notre Dame a household name, Claypool, let him score like 5 touchdowns. But we got something for you today. Oh, look at him. Oh, my God. Are you serious?
Hey, this is too easy.
Dick Bucket signed that?
So, look, Potsy got guys to sign it for me when he was there. And everybody
James
knows
Ferrier.
who Potsy is, James Ferrier. So
Yep.
I got most of the defense. He signed it for me. Everybody but Ben. Ben was signing. So I got to give me a Ben Roethlisberger helmet and get him to sign it.
Y'all about the same height. He better sign it. You taller than him, actually.
This is my pride and joy right here. Look at that.
So, in other words, how bad y'all gonna beat Baltimore? Because I think y'all will bottle up Lamar. I mean, you just bottle up King Henry.
So I can go way in depth with this one.
Oh, we got time.
I follow my NFL. All right. We gotta contain Lamar. We gotta be disciplined in our pass rush because we can't let him get outside the pocket. We gotta make him throw the ball, beat us throwing the ball.
Okay.
But we gotta cover. We've been giving up too many chunk plays. We gotta cover. Our DBs gotta cover. So if we can do that and we can contain, yet still get pressure on them, I like us. We shouldn't have given up the lead we gave up last week to the Titans. It's 27-7. You got to put that game out of reach. But I like how the defense is playing. I like Big Ben. He's getting rid of the ball early, quick this year, not taking too many hits. And James Conner is horsing that ball. And I like our receivers, man. Claypool, Juju.
Thanks to the Eagles. Yeah, thanks to the Eagles, we make them a household name.
I like how we're playing. I got us beating them, but you know, and I know, throw records out when these two teams play. It's gonna be physical. It's a rivalry. I can't stand them. But
you can't stand them?
Yeah, we're gonna get them. We're at Baltimore though, so I'm a little nervous about that being.
So anybody on the staff or any players, Baltimore Raven fans, the basketball team?
No. Nobody.
Okay.
No, nobody. We got a lot of Green Bay. We got a lot of Green Bay Packers.
Oh yeah, I know Bach is. I know Bach.
Bach and Tony and Coach Soderbergh. We got a lot of Green Bay Packer fans.
Ooh, Coach Bennett is too. Oh yes, right.
Yeah, he's from. Yeah. They're from all up there, man. When they beat us in the Super Bowl, they only Not Favre. Aaron Rodgers' only
Rodgers.
win, their only Super Bowl win. They rubbed it in a little bit, but I like how my boys are playing. I like how we're playing.
All right, so I go with the Steelers too. I go with the Steelers too. Lamar hasn't been looking good throwing the ball. I think he's trying to force the issue of staying in the pocket. They don't have any receivers that can really threaten the defense. They got the tight ends, so everything's in the middle of the field. So I got the Steelers as well, man. Y'all impressed me with what y'all did to King Henry in Tennessee.
We can't let him be. We can't let him run though. We can't. He can kill you with his legs. We got to contain the run. Lamar,
right,
I'm talking about.
So we're gonna transfer to our game because y'all don't know Coach Williford talk about the Steelers for days.
All day.
Because he love them. So this is the UVA preview brought to you by Red Diamond Coffee and Tea. Red Diamond Coffee and Tea. Let's spill some tea right now. How can UVA defeat UNC? Even though Mac Brown don't win at Scott Stadium, but as far as on the field and the players, what does UVA need to do to defeat the Tar Heels on Halloween at 8 p.m.?
I like what the defense did against Miami last. I thought the defense stepped up and they showed us what they're capable of doing. So if the defense can stop those running backs, those two running backs are good that Carolina's got. And I know they got some receivers and the quarterback's good, but if the defense can play and keep it close, I like us sneaking this one late. Like you said it earlier, it seems like we always beat them by a field goal. I like us keeping them bottled up in the run. We can't give up chunk plays. Our corners and secondary gotta limit the chunk plays, and then if the offense gets it going, I like us sneaking this one. I wish there were fans in the stadium because I like us beating them late.
So I'm gonna tell you what your keys for them is. Basically, what you said is UVA got to get rebounds, stop the ball, and trap the post. Right?
There you go. Get
right,
back
UVA
on
fans.
defense.
Get back on defense. National champion, Coach Jason Williford, Sixburg fandom fanatic, the man. I'm glad you took the time to join the show, man. It means a lot.
Hey, listen, man. Appreciate all you do. Say what's up to the fam. Y'all stay safe and keep doing good stuff.
Appreciate you, brother. Always a pleasure, man. So with that, we're not even going to take a break. We're going to go right to the Chevy keys to the game. Hey, Chevy, that truck that we're going to show, I'm tall enough to drive trucks. I know. I could drive a truck. The one in the photo that we're going to show right now when they show it. Like right now. Right there, that one. I need that. Let me get that. So the keys to the game versus North Carolina are monster performance. We need to replicate what Bryce Perkins did last year in a sense of not turning the ball over. He had almost 500 yards to the offense. I think he had like 450. I know he had over 100 yards rushing. He had over 300 yards passing. Terrell Jana had a huge day. Shout out to Terrell. We got to work the middle of the fields. We got to score, and we got to make them one-dimensional on offense. Coach Williford talked about their ability to run the ball with their two-headed monster. They averaged 249 yards rushing a game. 249 yards rushing a game. They average over 500 yards of offense. You got to cut it in half. I'd rather live with them trying to throw the ball. And I know every friend's like, whoa, wait, Ballhawk. We've been giving up chunk plays. More margin for error when they're throwing the ball opposed to running the ball. And last but not least, House of Horrors. What does that mean? UNC once had a 14-game losing streak in Charlottesville, including 6 losses by current coach Mac Brown. So it's important for UVA to get back to comforts of home and the fourth side energy. So that means since we can't be there for the game, we got to flood Twitter all game long with positivity, getting hype. I need videos of you like doing the pump-up music when it's third down. I need all that, okay? So during the game, videos to pump up the crowd. You heard it here first from Amal Hawkins. So that's all we got for you on the fourth side, man. Thanks to Kelly, the fourth side fanatic. Happy Halloween, full moon, and all that good stuff. And Brandon Lloyd, I need a 0 bar because I couldn't find it in Walmart yesterday. That's all I got for y'all. Ballhawk, have a great weekend. Go Hoos.